Good evening, my people, and thank you for tuning in to the Imperial News Network. I am Noble DeLorean Action Jackson out of Halal Temple number 229, Oasis of Petersburg, Desert of Virginia.
And I am daughter Quiana Carmen San Diego Woods out of Alcatab Court number 180, Oasis of Lexington, Desert of North Carolina. Hi, DeLorean.
Hey, Q. Feel
It's
like
been a
it's
long
been a
time.
minute. Yeah. Wait, it ain't been that long because I just seen you at Galconda.
And this is what happens when your coworkers tell your business. So, welcome to Imperial News Network. Welcome back. It's been a long time. It was just Imperial Session 2024, and Imperial Session 2025 is upon us once again. But we're busy. We got things to share on the Imperial News Network, and we're going to start out with things you may have missed.
All right, nobles and daughters. Now, we all know we get a lot of information coming back and forth from Imperial. And to be quite honest, most of y'all don't pay a whole lot of attention. Not really sure where it is. So, little section right here is called Things You May Have Missed. I'm going to go over a couple key documents that have come out lately. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Administrative Bulletin number 1 that was recently revised. You can find that on the AEA ONMS app in the file section from the desk of the 47th Imperial Potentate. Now, some of the highlights of that document, it talks about the quorum for meetings, it talks about the guidance for hybrid meetings, and it also gives guidance for submitting your dispensations. All right. The second thing we're going to discuss is the Imperial Protocol Guide that was recently updated. Once again, that can also be found in the AEA ONMS app in the file section under Imperial Policies. Some of the things that covers updates on protocols for balls and other events. The last thing we want to discuss today is the graphic approval form. That's a little bit more complicated, right? So you can go to the aeaonms.org website, then you go to resources, documents and forms, committees and departments, and then under Imperial Media Relations, you'll find the link. If you want to skip all that, you can find it on the social media policy, which is in the AEAONMS app under files and Imperial policies. Now, this is the form for submissions for anything that you're trying to submit for dissemination throughout the domain. So hope you caught all that. Hope you didn't miss things that you may have missed.
I'm going to be honest with you. I missed all that.
Yeah, I forgot what I said, and I'm the one who said it. So
that's a lot of very useful and very good information, but it was a lot to take in. But you know what else is a lot to take in? The amazing things that our courts and temples are doing across the domain. It is a beautiful thing to know that we are about the community service that we talk about. And a lot of you have submitted your ideas to us in your community service endeavors. So we're going to talk about it on Community Service Highlights. All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this off, going down to the Oasis of Pine Bluff, Desert of Arkansas, Ramen Court number 243. Special nods to our lead deputy, illustrious commanders, Dominique Easy Bake Mack. This is her court, and we are proud of the great things that you all are doing down there with your prom dress giveaway. This court provided dresses, jewelry, shoes, everything a young girl needs to celebrate her prom, and girls walked away with more than one dress, and that is a blessing. Thank you for blessing the young ladies in the communities around Pine Bluff. Great job, ladies.
All right, next we're going to talk about Syrian Temple number 49 and Syrian Court number 40 out of the Oasis of Denver, Desert of Colorado. They recently donated 200 pairs of socks to the 53 residents of the Forest Street Compassionate Care Center. They also collected clothing donations for the Veterans Association. Syrian Templar Court, they're actively committed to service and uplifting their community, and they exemplify generosity across the domain.
All right, next up is Al Usra Court number 251 in the Oasis of Cordova, Desert of Tennessee, where one of my favorite people serves as deputy for the Oasis, and that would be daughter Christian Deans. But they are in Cordova supporting the Binghamton Christian Academy with Read Across America. You'll hear that a lot because it's a very Very popular endeavor that a lot of our courts and temples participate in. The daughters are also handing out donuts and participating with the K through 8 classes, and they are spending lots of time reading multiple books, and they were there for the appearances of such wonderful Dr. Seuss characters and Cat in the Hat and Disney's Cruella de Vil and all the great things. So great job, Al Usra Court number 251.
All right. And on Give Back Sunday, the nobles of Al Usra and the daughters participated with the Community Service Leaders of America to provide a fine dining experience for the homeless in Morris Park. That came with live entertainment and exceptional service. The event basically offered, warmth and dignity to those who are in need.
All right. Now, Mocha Court number 42. We are in the oasis of Richmond in the desert of Virginia, the desert for lovers. But this court is doing a host of amazing things in their community. Their dimes are doing Pi Day. They do Read Across America. Again, very popular endeavor. Their school supply drop off. They're supporting HBCUs at the Virginia Union High Dream drop-off and the Valentine's Day drop-off. So great job, Mocha Court number 42.
All right. Moving on to the Oasis of Savannah, the desert of Georgia. The nobles of Omar Temple number 21 and the daughters of Omar Court number 91 recently spread joy by visiting the elderly and participating in community outreach. Clown Chris Starburst Young brought smiles to many faces, while the Al Sahara Shrine Club in Hinesville, Georgia, served hot fish to residents at the Renaissance Center. Additionally, Omar 21 proudly represented the AEA-ONMS in 2 parades, including the Savannah St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is actually one of the largest in the country, where they are warmly welcomed by the Irish community.
All right. So another nod to illustrious commanders Janelle White at Salah Al-Din Court number 230, Oasis of Landover, Desert of Maryland. They delivered 232 Valentine's Day candygrams along with motivational letters to students at Doge Park Elementary School. They also, along with their dimes, spent time in their local community by volunteering at the JC's Bingo Hall, where the daughters verified winners, assisted with game distribution, and called games. Great job, daughters of Salah Al-Din number 230.
Well, since we're hanging out in the desert of Maryland, let's go ahead and slide over to the Oasis of Baltimore and talk a little bit about Jerusalem Court number 1 and Jerusalem Temple number 4. They recognize the dedication of first responders at Baltimore's Western Police District. $9.01 noble served breakfast to the officers prior to day shift, cheering them on with pom-poms and gratitude. The initiative aims to boost morale and show appreciation for the officers' unwavering commitment to public safety. Looking ahead, the nobles and daughters plan to honor a local firehouse in the fall, continuing their mission of community support and recognition.
And the desert of Maryland, not to be outdone, Tuwa Court number 210, Oasis of Annapolis. And they are doing Read Across America, along with so many other courts and temples at Taylor Heights Elementary School, reading and being a support group for all these elementary school students and giving them something to look forward to with Read Across America. Great job, Tuwa number 210. And that, nobles and daughters, is just a small piece of all the great community service endeavors that we are doing across this domain. Continue to send those in. We love to shout out your court, temple, oasis, and desert. And again, that's been Community Service Highlights.
Q, those are some really, really great community service highlights, highlighting things that our temples and courts are doing. But I feel like there are nobles and daughters who are out there doing things aside from their temples and courts. Would you know anything about that?
We're going to coin this random acts of kindness for a reason. These daughters and nobles individually take it upon themselves to go out into their respective communities, and they give up their time, their talent, their treasure. They don't have to be asked. They do it because of the love that they have for the people that they serve. And it reminds me of my own story. About 10 years ago, I was, asked to participate in a bone marrow transplant for an 11-year-old who was dying from complications of sickle cell. And I'm proud to say that today, that little girl is now 21 years old, and she is sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait free. And I'm just glad that I was able to make that donation happen. And you're going to hear more about Daughters of Nobles doing much of the same in our segment called Random Acts of Kindness. Going down to my favorite desert, well, next to mine, of course, the desert of Georgia. We are going to go and shout out Omar Temple's very own Noble Steve Shellman. This noble, at the very young, tender age of 66 years old, is a retired disabled veteran with a caring heart. He demonstrates his willingness to help others on a daily basis by delivering food to widows and the sick and shut-in, regardless of his affiliation with any of our respective organizations. He takes care of anyone who needs food or personal care items. He's often seen driving his small pickup truck, uploading and offloading the flatbed with a pallet jack with food from the food bank and other donors. So we are sending our love to Omar Temple's Noble Steve Shellman for all the great work that he is selflessly doing in the oasis of Savannah and surrounding areas. Now, up next, we have daughter Ray Elise Dunbar from Swackham Court number 54, Oasis of Wilmington, Desert of Delaware. And she's the founder of Purpose IOU Inc., a space for in-reach, outreach, and upreach. Now, under the banner of Purpose IOU is Color Me Confident, which was birthed due to the cutbacks of the arts in public schools. And so it's a way of children to be able to express themselves through art. Additionally, she also has I Am Not an Object, another subsidiary that focuses on human trafficking awareness and homelessness. And if that wasn't enough, daughter Dunbar volunteers at Chosen 300, making breakfast every Sunday morning and sometimes coming in on Fridays to serve dinner. Daughter Dunbar, you are absolutely an amazing source of love, kindness, and hope to those in the oasis of Wilmington and surrounding areas, and we salute you. Last but not least, we have daughter Tracy Stansel from Syrian Court number 40, Oasis of Denver, Desert of Colorado. And this wonderful daughter is a catalyst for change by adopting multiple families with ensuring that they have access to essential resources such as furniture, appliances, food, clothing, and toiletries. And more than just providing material support, she's offered these families hope, stability, and a sense of belonging during challenging times. Daughter Tracy Stansel, we here at INM, we salute you and we salute all the amazing things that you're doing in the oasis of Denver. Ladies and gentlemen, nobles and daughters, you have heard just a sample of the wonderful people that are in the ranks of our organization that's doing wonderful random acts of kindness. And we love to hear about yours.
All right. So I do have an alibi, though. There was recently a webinar series that got started on voter registration. So I hope y'all caught the original first broadcast that went down on March 31st. But if you didn't, it's still on YouTube and all that good stuff. So go back and watch it. The next one coming up is going to be May 15th. It's titled The Responsibility of My Vote. Please, please, please get that in your life. Enough said.
That's right. Voter registration is necessary 365 days a year. And it's important that you stay educated as a voter. Yeah. So please check out all the webinars. Go back, catch the first one if you missed it. And let us be educated voters going forward, because there are changes that definitely need to be made.
Amen. Anyhow, so looks like we just about covered most of it. When we gonna get back together, Q?
Well, I know they can't wait, but guess what? Our next show airs on June 11th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can come back and listen to us talk about more community service endeavors, more random acts of kindness. So please get those turned in to PR@aeaonms.org. Again, PR@aeaonms.org. And yes, DeLorean will be back with some things you may have missed, because I'm sure you've missed them. And guess what? We can't wait to see you right here on INN, the Imperial News Network.
Y'all have a good one.
Good night.